Good morning and welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of the Desert. My name is Walter Gendell and it's my pleasure to welcome you today. I have been a Unitarian Universalist since 1995 and a member of this wonderful congregation since 2013. I also serve on your Board of Trustees. Today we're continuing the practice of having one of our board members share the words of welcome and tell you a little bit about our role on the board. In my role as an at-large member of the board, I act as liaison between the board and our fabulous hospitality team, who make sure we have tasty treats and drinks as we connect with each other at the after service each week. And I'm part of the board's work in nurturing an attitude of gratitude in our congregation. I am also the personnel advisor to the board and manage our bylaws by ensuring changes that occur are captured and revised in our bylaws as appropriate. As we begin our service, we acknowledge that we gather today on the unceded lands of the Aqua Caliente Band of Cahuilla people, and we commit to grow in our understanding and relationship with this land and with the people who inhabited it and nurtured it before our arrival. In this congregation, we welcome people of all sexual orientations and gender identities, of all ages and sizes, people of all economic statuses and professions, of all physical or mental abilities, people of all races and ancestries and cultures. We welcome you wherever you come from, whoever you love, whatever your immigration status or civic engagement. We welcome all those who will learn and grow with us as we commit together to embrace the rich and beautiful diversity of the world, to build a community centered in justice, compassion, and love. You are all welcome here, and we're glad you are with us this morning. Thank you.
Thank you, Walter. Hopefully everybody could hear me. So, announcements. We have one announcement for today. Please join us after the service for the dedication of our new celebration garden. We will meet at the patio immediately following the service. Before we begin, I would like to remind you if you could silence your cell phones or other devices. And also, if you would like to learn more about us, you can become part of our email list by sending a message to admin, A-D-M-I-N, at uucod.org, or you could visit our website, uucod.org. And now we'll begin the service with the ringing of the Tibetan bowl and listen to our music for center.
Good morning again, and welcome to our Sunday service here at the Unitarian Universalist Church of the Desert. I am the Reverend Ian Riddell, and I have the honor of serving this congregation as its settled minister. However you found us, however many times you've been here with us in person or online, welcome. We are a congregation and a tradition that celebrates the richness and beauty of individual lives and commits to working together to weave a tapestry made stronger and more vibrant by our collaboration and by the sharing of our lives and our visions for a thriving future of all life. We strive together to build the beloved community of resilience, hope, and love in the face of pain and fear and apathy. We practice the opening of hearts, the working of hands, and the lifting of spirits in the service of love. And we share the sacred breath. We gather together to craft the beloved community, breath by breath, word by word, stitch by stitch, note by note, step by step. We gather together to sing and speak and dance and knit and breathe the beloved community into being. This is our work, This is our calling. This is our joy. Will you join your voices together, friends, as we sing our opening hymn, Love Will Guide Us? Please rise.
Now, as Rev Ian lights our chalice, please read along our unison and aspiration. The words are on the screen. May love be the spirit of this church. May the quest for truth be its sacrament, and service be its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge in freedom, and to help one another in fellowship, this is our aspiration. And I invite Diana Leslie to come forward to light our BioPOC candles. And as she does so, please read along with me. The words are on the screen. We light these candles in solidarity with Black, Indigenous, and other people of color as we journey together towards spiritual wholeness. May we, as a beloved community, work to dismantle racism and all forms of oppression. May we live our principles so that equity for all prevail. This morning we have a reading from Carter Haywood, Love Like Truth and Beauty. Love, like truth and beauty, is concrete. Love is not fundamentally a sweet feeling, not at heart a matter of sentiment, attachment, or being drawn toward. Love is active, effective, a matter of making reciprocal and mutually beneficial relations and with one's friends and enemies. Love creates righteousness or justice here on earth. To make love is to make justice. As advocates and activists for justice know, loving involves struggle, resistance, risk. People working today on behalf of women, Blacks, lesbians, and gay men, the aging, the poor in this country and elsewhere, know that making justice is not a warm, fuzzy experience. I think also that sexual lovers and good friends know that the most compelling relationships demand hard work, patience, and a willingness to endure tensions and anxiety in creating mutually empowering bonds. For this reason, loving involves commitment. We are not automatic lovers of self, others, world, of God. Love does not just happen. We are not love machines, puppets on the strings of a deity called love. Love is a choice, not simply or necessarily a rational choice, but rather a willingness to present to others without pretense or guile. Love is a conversation to humanity, a willingness to participate with others in the healing of a broken world and broken lives. Love is the choice to experience life as a member of the human family, a partner in the dance of life, rather than as an alien in the world or as a deity above the world, aloof and apart from human flesh.
I invite you to just take a moment and take a deep breath. There are so many other joys and sorrows that are in our hearts that stay silently in the quiet. We hold those as well in this gathered community of love. Right now, we pause in our regular service to honor our companion in the faith, Rusty Kaplan, who died in his sleep early Wednesday morning. Rusty was a longtime member of our congregation and a passionate member of our choir. Among other things, I remember he recently worked on the committee that hired our wonderful new choir director. We each have our memories of Rusty, of our relationship with him, and I know we'll be sharing stories with each other today and into the future. We will no longer hear the sound of his voice or his laughter, see the twinkle in his eyes, or feel the touch of his hands. And yet we know that his spirit lives on in those he touched in his life's journey. So from this chalice of memory and hope and community, we light this candle to symbolize how his influence will go on shining in us. In mystery we are born. In mystery we live. And in mystery we die. Holding all of this in our hearts, will you join me in a sung prayer this morning, friends? The words will be on the screen. Join as you feel comfortable. When I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I breathe out love. When I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I breathe out love. When I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I breathe out love. When I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I breathe out love. May all beings know peace. May all beings know an end to suffering. May all beings know love. Will you join your voices together, friends, as we sing our hymns for meditation, Spirit of Life, Fuente de Amor. have some stories I want to share with you this morning. I want to start with the music that Joel played at the offertory a little while ago. Is the song called The Origin of Love from the musical Hedwig and the Angry Inch. It's a party, right? That was Jerry sees himself up there. Hedwig and the Angry Inch. It's a song sung by the main character, Hedwig, that tells the tale of the origin of love in our human lives that is recounted in Plato's Symposium. The song begins with these words: "When the earth was still flat and clouds made of fire and mountains stretched up to the sky, sometimes higher, folks roamed the earth like big rolling cakes. They had 2 sets of arms and 2 sets of legs. They had 2 faces peering out of 1 giant head, so they could watch all around them as they talked while they read, and they never knew nothing of love. It was before the origin of love." Now, in the Symposium that the composer of this song based the song on, Plato recounts a speech by Aristophanes that tells the story that we human beings all began our lives as big round creatures with 2 sets of faces and 2 sets of arms and legs and genitalia, 2 sets of everything. Some of us were all male, the children of the sun. Some of us were all female, the children of the earth, and some of us were a mix of male and female, the children of the moon in this myth. These mythical proto-humans walked around on 4 legs, and they ran apparently by turning cartwheels on their 8 limbs, moving in circles like their parents, the planets. Now, as humans in myth are wont to do, we got a little uppity and boisterous, and so the gods got nervous we might challenge them. And so Zeus, the king of the gods, split us in 2, right down the middle, and then sewed up each half so it was self-contained. The scars of that sewing became our navels. And then Zeus or some of the other gods moved the other parts around so that we could actually see and talk to each other and find pleasure in each other. But after we had been created as whole, though bizarre beings, we still longed to be reunited with others, with our split aparts. The children of the sun, who had been all male, longed for each other, men longing for other men. The children of the earth, who had been all female, longed for each other, women longing for other women. And those who had been a mixture, the children of the moon, after being split apart, longed for each other, men longing for women, women longing for men. Now, it's pretty clear what the hierarchy of these desires was for Aristophanes and for Plato. The love of men for each other was most highly honored. The love of men and women for each other was lower than that, and the love of women for women was barely mentioned again, unfortunately. It is an ancient myth that is mired in the problematic misogyny and male dominance of the culture which crafted the story. And it's so deeply rooted, I'm going to tell you, in a polarized gender binary that we find incomplete in our day and age. It's troubling in many ways as a story. But as I ponder Plato's tale of Aristophanes' words, I carry with me the idea that not only are we humans made of the same stuff, but that we are actually made of each other. We're one in this conception. Another story. Earlier in the year, I shared with you the opening lines of Geoffrey Chaucer's poem, The Parliament of the Fowls. Chaucer begins this 700-line poem with these words: "The life so short, the craft so long to learn, the assay, the attempt so hard, so sharp the conquering, the fearful joy that slips away in turn, all this I mean by love, that my feeling astonishes with its wondrous working so fiercely, that when I on love do think, I know not well whether I float or sink." The poem of Chaucer's focuses, as those words suggest, on exploring the craft of love, learning how to grapple with love in our lives. In fact, the poem is thought to be the first writing in English connecting love and romance to the day of celebration for St. Valentine. The poem tells the story of a great gathering of birds, that parliament of fowls, who have all gathered to choose their mates. There are in this gathering 3 male eagles who are making their case that they should be the one chosen by the female eagle. All of the other birds enter into a noisy debate, complaining about these male eagles. We'll just put that aside for a moment. A debate which is ended by nature, who is personified in the poem and says, it's over, this debate is over. But after the end of the cacophony, the female eagle asked to be given time, a whole year, asked to delay her decision until she is ready to make it in the future. This brings to the forefront one of the main themes of the work, that free will is crucial, even and especially in the realm of love. And so as I ponder Chaucer's words today, I carry with me the idea that we are called to choose love, as Carter Hayward said, not just romantic love, all of love, choose love of our own free will. These are the words of the 7th century bishop who we know as St. Isaac the Syrian, as he pondered what exactly was meant by the biblical call, he was a Christian, call to charity, to love. He wrote, "What is a charitable heart? It is a heart which is burning with charity for the whole of creation, for humanity, for the birds, for the beasts, for the demons, for all creatures. The one who has such a heart cannot see or call to mind a creature without their eyes becoming filled with tears by reason of the immense compassion which seizes their heart, a heart which is softened and can no longer bear to see or learn from others of any suffering, even the smallest pain being inflicted upon a creature. This is why such a person never ceases to pray also for the animals, for the enemies of truth, and for those who do them evil, that they may be preserved and purified. They will pray even for the reptiles, moved by the infinite pity that reigns in the heart of those who are becoming united to love." As I ponder St. Isaac's words, I carry with me the idea that we are called to love the whole of creation, from the meanest creature to those who we would consider our enemies. One more set of ponderings. St. Isaac, of course, grounded his understandings in Christian scriptures, and Christian and Jewish and Islamic scriptures and traditions speak powerfully about the place of love in our world and our life. In the Jewish scriptures in Leviticus, it says, "You shall not hate your sibling in your heart, but you shall reason frankly with your neighbor, lest you incur sin because of them. You shall not take vengeance or bear a grudge against the children of your people, but you shall love your neighbor as yourself." The Christian Gospel of Matthew tells a story of Jesus being questioned about what the most important commandment is. And Jesus responds and says, "Thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart and with all thy soul and with all thy mind. This is the first and great commandment, and the second is like unto it. Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. On these 2 commandments hang all of the law and the prophets." And in Islamic scripture, in the Quran says that as we were created, Allah planted love and kindness in our hearts and engenders love in us daily. We are commanded to relate to each other with love. And as I ponder the words of these scriptures and others, I carry with me the idea that we are called to ground all of our choices and decisions, all of our rules and laws, all of our systems on love. Now, it's not just because of Rod and Fran's anniversary that I'm thinking about love today, although that's helpful. I've been inspired by some other things. One reason is the centering of love in the new way that we are collectively exploring to talk about the values at the center of our Unitarian Universalist tradition. In the new language proposed by the Unitarian Universalist Association in the bylaws, the language that lays out what unites us theologically, philosophically, spiritually, that language places love at the center of all of the other values that it lifted up. as the source of those other values that we share, and the guiding principle and practice of our faith's work in our hearts and in the world. It says, we draw from our heritages of freedom, reason, hope, and courage, building on the foundation of love. Love is the power that holds us together and is at the center of our shared values. We are accountable to one another for doing the work of living out our shared values through the spiritual discipline of love. And another reason for all of this right now is the world and our lives. The losses and pain and fear many of us are feeling this week because of illness and death and accident and uncertainty. The anguish and frustration and hopelessness in reaction to the world outside these walls. And last week I invited us to remember to rest, to let ourselves breathe and take time for renewal and regeneration and healing, not in service of stopping our interaction with the world, and not only to build strength for the next battle, but also to see ourselves clearly and deeply, to understand ourselves and the lay of the land around us, the direction of the horizon, as poet Nancy Brown said, and to see more clearly and know more deeply the center of ourselves, the center of how we choose to respond to the world. And for me, and I think for many of us, that center is love. We can choose to respond to the injustice and pains and triumphs and gladness of life, all of it. Choose to respond with and in love. Recall Carter Hayward's words shared earlier by Stephen. Love does not just happen. We're not love machines, puppets on the string of a deity called love. It is a choice, not simply or necessarily a rational choice, but rather a willingness to be present to others without pretense or guile. It is a conversion to humanity, a willingness to participate with others in the healing of a broken world and broken lives. It is the choice to experience life as a member of the human family, a partner in the dance of love and the dance of life. I was honored and moved yesterday to attend the celebration of life for an elder beloved colleague, the Reverend Carolyn Sheets Owen Toll, at the First Unitarian Universalist Church in San Diego. That's why I was on that highway on Friday. The love in that room was overwhelming. Sadness, too, but love for Carolyn, of course, but also for her family and friends and colleagues, and love and gratitude for her ministry and life. For Carolyn, the central things that grounded her work and guided her ministry in life were truth, beauty, and love. And I didn't realize until this morning that those were the opening words of the reading that Stephen shared from Carter Hayward. Truth, beauty, and love. Carolyn was an artist and a truth teller. And these are her words that were shared in the service yesterday, Carolyn's words. Love is the glue that surrounds us and holds truth and beauty together. Love is the moving power of life. Love is the force that shakes us out of our self-absorption. Love impels us to reach beyond ourselves to our neighbor who needs us. Love is the source of goodness. What is it but love that gives us the inner strength to listen, to look for and create beauty and truth? Without love's sustenance, there is no volition. Dear ones, this has been a hard week, a hard month, a hard season, and it has also been a time filled with beauty and joy and celebration. We hold the losses and uncertainties and pains of this time alongside the celebration of our shared ministry, the beauty of living more deeply into our history and into our sacred grounds, and the truth of our deep connections. As I sat here waiting for the service to start, all I could see was all of you coming through that door and greeting each other with joy and smiles and love. At the heart of all that we do is a love that will not let us go. In the words of poet Wendell Berry, it is a spirit that needs nothing but its own wholeness, its health, and ours. In every moment, we choose what to do next, how to respond to both the joy and the pain. We have the chance to choose love as our response. In every moment, we grow to understand that all of what we do and decide hangs on the love that is our deepest call. Love that reminds us that we are woven into the fabric of each other right from our beginning, as Plato reminded us. Love that demands of us that we see the whole of creation. Each frightened child, each worried relative, each excited friend, each celebrating neighbor, each acre of ground, and each small creature and blessed plant. The whole of creation, as St. Isaac said, worthy and needful of our love. My friends, when we are in the deepest pain and the loudest triumph, may we hear of that call of love. In the early days of the internet, there was an image going around. Today we'd call it a meme. It was just a picture back then, from a person who wrote about work and life and relationships. And it was an image that I had on my computer wallpaper for years, and its words live with me every day. It was a picture of just chaos and scribbles, and nodding in bright red letters. When in doubt, choose love. May we choose love in each and every moment as we craft this messy, glorious life together. May it be so. I invite you to rise in body and spirit as we sing our closing hymn, The Fire of Commitment. A little more energetic than our opening song, but I think we can do it. Fire of Commitment. I'm the one that programmed this. Oh, there it is. It's okay. For the dreams of youthful vision. There we go. And choice, we choose. So thank you for that.
Okay. And now, as Rev. Ian extinguishes the flame, please read along the words that are on the screen. Maybe not, so I'll read them. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth and the warmth of community. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth and the warmth of community or the fire of commitment. We carry in our hearts until we are together.
It's been a week, friends. We laugh about that, but it has been a week. This is a community of celebration and joy. There's so much wonderfulness happening, and this week has been hard for many of us. I'm so grateful to see so many of your faces here. I'm grateful to hear your laughter. I'm grateful for your patience in letting things happen as they happen. And I'm grateful for everyone who is involved in crafting this service, to Stephen and Walter and Diana, to Joel especially, and to all of our AV folks who work tirelessly to make this all work together. So thank you all. Carolyn Owen told us, she said, love is the moving power of life. Love is the force that shapes and shakes us out of our self-absorption. Love impels us to reach forward beyond ourselves to our neighbor who needs us. Love is the source of goodness. What is it but love that gives us the inner strength to listen, to look for, and to create beauty and truth? Love is the moving power of life. With the call of that love ringing in our ears, go in peace, my friends, to love and serve the world.